Welcome everyone to Grand Tour Wrestling Saturday Night Dystopia. I'm your host, Infinite Fantasy. We're live here in the Soul Arena in Cleveland, Ohio, and we're about to be joined by the unbreakable, unstoppable, the mighty god, Hercules, a former World Heavyweight Champion, former Grand Tour Champion, former United States Champion, now making his way to the ring here in Cleveland. It was at the Grand Rumble where Hercules had won a tag team match with his partner Amber Charlotte. The stipulation was if he lost, he would be denied his no accountability clause that's in his contract, a clause that prevents him from ever suffering repercussions or being fired for any action he takes here in Grand Tour Wrestling. If he won, he would be given a shot at the World Heavyweight title. Hercules did win the match. However, because Stone Cold Steve Austin won the title in his retirement match against Jon Moxley that very same night, Hercules is now being denied the very thing he promised. He threatened that he would continue his assault on GTW staff if he was not given his World Heavyweight title match. He attempted to go after Chris Jericho at the end of Brawl Wednesday night, but his plans were stopped by Shinsuke Nakamura. And I can't wait to hear what Hercules has to say about the events that transpired last Wednesday. Cleveland, Ohio, bow before your God. Yes, well, we are in Cleveland, so I guess you wouldn't know true greatness if it hit you in the face. After all, I have seen more starting quarterbacks here since 1999 than there have been U.S. presidents since 1776. I understand. I do not want this. I would love to give you what you have not had in a long time. A true champion to cheer for. I know. I'm upset too. You see, Mr. Charles Elliott, our fearless director, has gone back on his word. I won my match at the Grand Rumble. I demand compensation. This will be your final warning, Elliot. I do not care what strings you need to pull. I want what is owed, or so help me. I will put another bystander in the hospital, and this time no one will get in my way. Here comes director Charles Elliott. Now let us calm down for a moment. I did not want to go back on my word. It's as simple as there's no World Heavyweight Championship anymore. Yes, I get it. Steve Austin won the title, then retired with it. And who sanctioned that match knowing that was a possibility? Well, that would be me. Great. Now answer me this. Who also signed for a match that same night that would give me the opportunity to make me #1 contender? Well, that would also be me. Good. Now, with that said, Who sanctioned both matches on the same night with the full knowledge that I would not get what I was promised, despite that my own contract clause was on the line? That. Go on. Go on, Charles. Let's hear you say it. Only the whole world is watching right now. That that was also me. You have stated that as long as you're a director, you would never allow me a shot at the World Heavyweight Championship. Did you not? That is that is correct. One might say that you wanted Austin to win, to retire the World Heavyweight title in spite of GTW, rather than see me have a chance of winning said title. Am I on the nose, Mr. Elliott? Hercules, are you implying that I sabotage GTW out of some personal vendetta? Well, are you? No outside match results would have affected the outcome if I lost. If I lost, you would get to remove my no accountability clause no matter what. Now suddenly, there's no World Heavyweight title? No one in GTW should have no accountability. And there it is. There it is. Yes, you see, Mr. Elliott, you are the one who placed that clause in my contract. That was by your authority, but someone must always be accountable. The bill always pays due. That means you are accountable for me. You are accountable for my actions because everything that happens with me is your fault now. I will continue my rampage. I will never see a day in court. You, on the other hand, have someone you must answer to, and answer you shall. If you do not make things right, I will continue to damage your talent. I will do so until you either give me my title match, or the one person you must answer to decides to hold you accountable. Be careful with how you wield your no accountability. Your rampage might find its way to the wrong talent, Hercules. Just like it did on Brawl. In fact, I think we have a main event tonight. Cleveland, how would you feel about Hercules and the hardcore champion Archangel to be in a tag team match here tonight against Chris Jericho and Shinsuke Nakamura? I don't know. Honestly, Hercules, I think that ought to keep you busy from any rampages tonight. And there's Charles Elliott's answer. Hercules definitely spreading a lot of truth. You can't agree with his actions, but you can't deny that what Hercules is saying is true. Charles Elliott's answer tonight is to put Hercules in tonight's main event match. After the backlash when Shinsuke Nakamura saved Chris Jericho from Hercules' rampage on Brawl, they will now meet up in a tag team match. It will be Hercules and Archangel of the Old Gods versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Chris Jericho here in tonight's dystopian main event. Speaking of tag team matches, when we return here after a quick break, we're going to be having the women's tag team titles on the line. Kumiko Tanaka and Kana Narako of the Syndicate versus Flamer and Fuego Lopez of Les Femme Fatales, coming up next on Dystopia. Welcome back, everyone. It's time for the women's tag team titles to be on the line. We're going to be having Les Femme Fatales challenging the Syndicate, Flamer and Fuego Lopez versus Kumiko Tanaka and Kana Narako. Coming up right here on Dystopia. It's now time for the tag team titles to be on the line. We have Flamer and Fuego Lopez making their way to the ring. Together, they form Les Femme Fatales. These two women from Mexico forming a dynamic La Luchador tag team as they'll be challenging the Syndicate for the tag team titles right here tonight here in Cleveland, Ohio. The question is, will these two masked high flyers have what it takes to call themselves champions after tonight's matchup? And here comes the women's tag team champions. Not just the women's tag team champions, but 2 times women's tag team champions. We have Kana Nanako and Kumiko Tanaka once again wearing a gold. They were absent of the titles, but just last month were able to win them back. This will be, I believe, their first title defense since becoming 2-time tag team champions. Where Fuego Lopez and Flamer have their La Luchador style, these two implement a high degree of martial arts in their teamwork. But will be enough to defend the gold here tonight.
The following contest is a tag team match set for one fall and is for the Women's Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers, the Superstar and Lopez, Les Femme Fatales. And their opponents, the Women's Tag Team Champions and Impress, the Syndicate.
And here we go, folks. The women's tag team titles on the line. We're going to be starting off with Flamer taking on Kana Nanako as the opening women in tonight's tag team championship match. And here comes Flamer with a suplex onto Nanako, followed by a lion salt off the second rope. Amazing agility by this luchador as she goes for the pin. An immediate kick out by one half of the tag team champions. Nanako with the reversal Flamer attempting a kick. And now, Nanako has her in the corner. She tags in Kumiko Tanaka, who's coming off the top rope, and the Syndicate with a double team high flying move onto Flamer. Tanaka coming up the ropes. Big knee right to the skull of Flamer. And here she goes, bringing in a sleeper hold. She's terraforming the move into a crossface. Flamer desperately trying to elbow her way out of it. And now she's making a comeback. Those devastating knees into the ribs of one half of the tag team champions. And a flying knee into the chin of Tanaka. And what a backbreaker. Flamer now tagging in her partner, Fuego Lopez. Fuego Lopez, a former United States champion, now in the ring here against Kumiko Tanaka. And here comes Tanaka putting Lopez into a massive headlock. Lopez able to gator roll her way out of the maneuver. And Tanaka now tagging in Kana Nanako. And I gotta say, this is probably what makes the tag team champions such a dynamic duo. The Syndicate knows exactly when to tag in and out. And what a flying moonsault by Fuego Lopez. She got so much air on that. And it's probably gonna be those high flying skills of these masked wrestlers that will give them the edge in this tag team title match. Fuego Lopez going for the pin. And Nanako able to kick out. And now she has her in a fireman's carry. Forward slam. Now tagging in Flamer. And I was just complimenting the Syndicate on being able to tag in and out. Being able to utilize that teamwork. But it seems that Les Femme Fatales able to do just the same. Now Flamer taking this match outside the ring as the two women fight in front of our announcer's desk. Flamer slamming Nanako's head into the ring apron. Referee's starting to count out. Flamer has got to get Nanako back in the ring. The tag team titles will not change hands via countout. And look, those heavy hits, followed by a Superman punch. Both members of the Syndicate down. Flamer go for the pin. And there's Nanako getting the shoulder up. And right now the Syndicate not looking to be in terribly good shape, as Les Femme Fatales has the advantage in this tag team match. Flamer going for the Irish whip. Nanako coming off the ropes. And what a reversal by Nanako, able to leverage her weight to prevent the belly-to-belly suplex. Now she brings Flamer into an arm drag, followed by the Irish whip. And Flamer is down. Nanako making a much desperate tag to Kumiko Tanaka. Tanaka now the legal woman as she goes on the offensive on Flamer. And here comes the pin to retain the titles. And there's Lopez saving the match. It is a huge opportunity by the challengers here. Syndicate, a very formidable team. Winning the tag team titles here tonight would definitely bring Les Femme Fatales up a notch in terms of prestige. And there's a lariat punch by Tanaka. Flamer nearly being knocked out with that one strike. You can see she's barely on her feet right now. Desperately, she's going for those elbow shots to the ribs. And a big boot by Flamer coming back at Tanaka. And there's a belly-to-belly suplex. Tanaka rolling out of the ring. They get a little breather. Flamer now tagging in Fuego Lopez. There's a sweep by Kumiko Tanaka from outside the ring. I mentioned earlier how the Syndicate likes to deploy martial arts in their wrestling style, and we just got a little taste of that right there. Look at these shots. European uppercut by Tanaka. And there she is, sizing up Lopez. No doubt she has something very special in mind for this masked wrestler. And a Russian facebuster. A Russian facebuster by Tanaka. One. And there's Flamer saving the match. But it seems that she may have just hit the referee in the process of trying to break the count. The referee is now knocked out. We no longer have an official in this title match. Tanaka now warming her up. We have no official. Anything could happen in this match right now. Tanaka now tagging in Nanako. I don't know how legal it is with no referee seeing it. But it's not stopping Nanako as she comes off the top rope with a body splash. The referee finally stirring, getting to her feet. And there's a pile driver by Nanako. Here comes the pin. Will this be enough to retain the titles? 1, 2, a kick out by Lopez. I don't know. If you ask me, I think that count was a little sluggish there. The referee was just knocked out a second ago. Nanako now going for a submission hold onto Fuego Lopez. Lopez able to counter. And a reverse leg scissors by Lopez. Nanako gets the tag to Tanaka. Tanaka with a fireman's carry. Lariat punch taking Lopez down. And there's a Serton as she goes for the pin. 1, 2, and Lopez kicking out. This tag team title match continues. Look at Tanaka wrenching the head of Lopez. He gets on the second rope, waiting for her opponent to get to her feet. And Lopez getting out of the way, nobody home. Tanaka hits nothing but ring canvas. And a wheelbarrow DDT by Lopez. Lopez now making the tag to Flamer. Plenty of time to rest coming into this match. Coming into this match fresh. And she nearly had it. She nearly had the 3 count. We almost had new tag team champions. There's a Russian leg sweep. Flamer now sizing Tanaka up. Flamer ready to put this one away. She can smell the gold. The tag team titles just at her fingertips. GTS. Here comes the pin with the tag team titles. And they did it. They did. We have new tag team champions.
Here are your winners, and the new Women's Tag Team Champions, the Superstar and Lopez, Les Femmes Fatales.
Amazing. We have new tag team champions. What a way to open up tonight's show. The Superstar Flamer and Fuego Lopez. Together they form Les Femmes Fatales, and they are the new Grand Tour Wrestling Tag Team Champions. Amazing way to open up Dystopia here tonight. I can only imagine what other things we're going to have coming up. What an exciting night we're going to have here tonight. Coming up next, we're going to be having a #1 contender match for the European title. Damian Maximus versus Axiom. The winner will be going to Friday Night All-Star to challenge the Russian gladiator Andre Armstrong for the European title. Also tonight, we have our main event. Hercules and the Hardcore Champion, Archangel, taking on Shinnosuke Nakamura and Chris Jericho in a main event tag team match. And also still to come, one-on-one, Asuka versus Rachel Rodriguez. That's all coming up here tonight on Dystopia. Don't go anywhere, we're going to have a quick break, followed by our number one contender match. Mr. Elliott, do you have a second? Yes, Witch. What can I do for you? I took the time off you gave me and did some thinking. Listen, I want to face my brother one-on-one. It's like I told Hercules. We have a number one contender. Bourne eliminated you at the Rumble. The WrestleNova main event is set. It doesn't need to be at WrestleNova, and it doesn't need to be for the Grand Tour title. Just give me a match. I have my gear. I could take him on tonight. I gave Dio the night off tonight. Just like you were supposed to take the night off. But, no, instead you travel all the way to Cleveland, Ohio to ask me for a match that you know I'm not going to give you. Then make it on Brawl. Book us for All-Star. I don't care. Just get me in the ring with him. Which, I respect you. I think you are one of the best talent I have on the roster. I like you. I really like you. I really do. So let me make myself perfectly clear. Okay? The Grand Rumble was the only way that match would have ever happened. As director, I will not sanction you versus Dio Sebastian. Charles, please. I need this match. And as your friend, I suggest you don't let your obsession over your brother consume you the way his obsession over you consumed him. You don't need a match to work things out, you two need counseling. Take the night off, Witch. Do not come back on Brawl unless you are ready to move on. And that is final. Welcome back, everyone, and it's time for the number one contender match. Damian Maximus will be going one-on-one with Axiom. The winner will be challenging Andre Armstrong for the European title at Friday Night All-Star in just a few weeks. And that match is coming up now here on Dystopia.
The following is scheduled for one fall, making his way to the ring, accompanied by the Olympian Rebecca Troy, representing the Olympians from New York, weighing in at 163 pounds, Damian Maximus!
How much of a simp can you be? Damian Maximus is even coming out to Rebecca Troy's music now as she's holding his hand to a very important matchup. Honestly, I'm surprised Charles Elliott even sanctioned this match, giving his freeloading, no-good, backstabbing son an opportunity like this, let alone allowing Rebecca Troy to even be ringside. You know this is not going to be a fair fight. There's no way this is going to be a true one-on-one match. If Damian Maximus really wanted to prove that he could be number one contender, this should be a true one-on-one, and he should be coming out alone. The very sight of this man makes me sick.
And his opponent, representing Fraxium from Madrid, Spain, weighing in at 154 pounds, Axiom.
And here comes GTW's designated superhero. Axiom, this massive luchador, coming to save the day as he takes on Damian Maximus one-on-one. If his super high-flying abilities can overcome the old god's tricks, then he'll be able to challenge Andre Armstrong for the European title when we get to Friday Night All-Star in just a few weeks. And here comes the bell. Number 1 contender match. Whoever wins will be challenging the European champion. We got Axiom, the masked superhero the luchador, versus Damian Maximus, one half of the Olympians, protege to Hercules, and newest member of the Old Gods. With Rebecca Troy, he is a former intergender tag team champion. And right now, Axiom seems to have the advantage in this one-on-one match. And here's a hit toss by Maximus. I have to admit, that was a very good reversal by one half of the Olympians. Axiom immediately able to recover as he sweeps the leg. And there's a super kick onto Damian Maximus. And now Axiom waiting for his opponent to get to his feet. Axiom with his high-flying abilities. And that's the thing I love about GTW is the variety of styles you get when these wrestlers challenge each other. And look at that. I knew it. I knew this wasn't going to be a fair fight. Rebecca Troy ripping off the turnbuckle padding. We now have an exposed turnbuckle. No doubt she's setting Damian Maximus up to use as a weapon, and the referee immediately seeing it, but now distracted, unable to go count for the pin. That could have been the victory for Axiom right there. And now let's see what the strategy is. Rebecca Troy had no intentions on giving Maximus a foreign object, but to distract the referee. And that might cost Axiom the match. And there's a double forearm smash by Damian Maximus, starting to get confident against his opponent. He goes for the Irish whip as Axiom goes off the ropes. And there's an elbow smash by Axiom. And I gotta say, he's handling Maximus very well. Maximus going for the Irish whip. And there's Rebecca Troy grabbing the leg of Axiom. Another distraction by Rebecca Troy. As I said, that Damian Maximus should have came out here alone. This should have been a true one-on-one. I'm frankly surprised that his father, Charles Elliott, even allowed anyone to be ringside in this match. And there's Rebecca Troy, who slid a chair in the ring. Damian Maximus slamming Axiom on there with the referee's back turned. Axiom with a huge knee onto Maximus. That might have been just what he needed to turn this match around. Now we're seeing Maximus struggling to get to his feet. And there's Axiom with a dropkick, knocking him out of the ring. And now we have the two men fighting right here at ringside in front of our announcer's desk. And there's a moonsault by Axiom. The referee beginning the ring count. Now you can become number 1 contender by winning by a ring out. However, if both men get counted out here, then that would be a draw, and I don't know who would be number 1 contender at that point. Maximus now throwing Axiom back in the ring. This young man looks like he wants to prove something and not win by the lights of a ring out. Pinfall not working though, as Axiom able to get the shoulder up. And here comes Maximus going for an armbar onto Axiom. Axiom with those right hands breaking out of the submission hold. Maximus with a clothesline from behind. And he goes with the double axe handle off the second rope, and now he's setting him up. Maximus going for divine judgment. This could be it. 1, 2, and somehow Axiom able to kick out. You can see the frustration on Damian Maximus. Like, that's his trump card. That is the great equalizer. The divine judgment is the one move in his arsenal that his opponents rarely kick out of, and now he's gonna make Axiom pay for his defiance. And Maximus throwing those right hands. He's going for the pin. 1, 2, 3, and Maximus is now the #1 contender for the European title.
Here is your winner, Damian Maximus!
Remember, it was on Brawl where the Red Faction defeated the Olympians. Andre Armstrong and Brenda Bison pick up a victory over these two, and now Damian Maximus will have his chance at revenge as he goes to challenge Andre Armstrong for the European title in just a few weeks for Friday Night All-Star. When we return to DYSTOPIA, we're going to be hearing from our first ever GTW Women's European Champion, the timeless Toni Storm. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And we're back, everyone, here on GTW DYSTOPIA. And here comes the Women's European Champion, Toni Storm. Last week on DYSTOPIA, she made history, being the very first woman to ever become European Champion, winning a fatal 4-way match against Brenda Bison, Rebecca Troy, and now here she is, standing here in Cleveland, Ohio, the European Champion, making her way to the ring. And look at her. I gotta say, that belt looks very, very good on her. Just look at that grin. You can just see just how proud she is. And the crowd here in Cleveland, Ohio, on their feet as the European Champion graces their presence. Last week, I stood in the city of Rome, a city where warriors would fight to the death in a dramatic display of blood, guts, and glory. That night, history was made. Tonight, I stand in Cleveland, Ohio, a city of fuss, a city where history is made. 1879, the first city to use electricity, shining brighter than any city of its time. 1967, the year where a man known as Alan Freed hosted the Moondog Coronation Ball, introducing the first rock and roll concert in the world. 1890, the first city to have an indoor shopping arcade in the United States, and 1914, the first electric traffic signal. And then comes 2026, where the first ever GTW Women's European Champion stands before the beautiful people, this great indestructible industry city. I am Toni Storm. I am here, and much like Cleveland, I am timeless. You honor not just the fans of GTW, but you honor myself and all women in locker room. The privilege is all mine, but I have to ask, by what stroke of luck do I owe the pleasure of having a fine woman like you grace me in the ring? You speak how the city has made history again and again. Tony Storm, I wish to make history tonight in Cleveland as your first challenger for European title. Never have I been one to look at a spectacular specimen and refuse to tango. Shall we make history tonight? Shall I defend the European title here tonight? Well, guess what, Akimasaki? You better strap yourself in, because tonight we are going to make like Alan Freed and rock the house down. Yes, let us have an honorable battle right here, right now. We're going to be having Tony Storm versus Akimasaki next.
Introducing the challenger from Kobe, Japan, Beautiful. And her opponent from Gold Coast, Australia, the Women's European Champion, Tony Storm.
What a turn of events and what a surprise we're having here tonight at Cleveland, Ohio. What started off as a promo from Tony Storm has now turned into a European Championship challenge. Akimasaki wanting the honor to be the first to challenge Tony Storm. And Tony Storm, being the true champion she is, refuses to turn down the challenge. And now we're about to have an impromptu European title match between Akimasaki and the timeless Tony Storm right here on Dystopia. And here comes Tony Storm with a super kick on Akimasaki. And you can see the European champion measuring her up, taking her time as she lays in those kicks on the challenger. And here comes Tony Storm. What an attack! Tony Storm ferociously won a fatal four-way last week, making history as the first ever GTW Women's European Champion. And looks like she's having her first title defense right here tonight as Akimasaki coming out respectfully, laying down a challenge. And here comes Tony Storm with the armbar onto the challenger. Akimasaki struggling to get out of the hold. And there's a super kick by Saki coming in with a lion salt. Here comes the pin. 1, 2, and a kick out from Tony Storm. And that would be something if Akimasaki were to win here tonight. Tony Storm being the first European champion, but also having a very short reign. That could be a very big possibility with a challenger like Akimasaki. We already had the tag team titles change here once tonight. And if we learned anything, when it comes to Grand Tour Wrestling, anything is possible. And now we got Akimasaki with a tight hold on Tony Storm. A quick counter as she puts Akimasaki into a massive headlock, and now the European champion tightening the hold. You can see that Akimasaki is struggling to breathe here. And there's Tony Storm driving the knee into the back of the challenger. Tony Storm making her way to the top turnbuckle, and she comes in with a frog splash. All that weight going onto the challenger. She's going for the pin. 1, 2, and Akimasaki kicks out. Now locking up. Here comes Tony Storm going for a fisherman suplex. I gotta say, this is quite the surprise. This was not scheduled on the card here tonight. Toni Storm, a fighting champion, now placing Akima Sake in ankle lock. She has her in the middle of the ring. Akima Sake screaming in pain, but she rolls into position to kick Toni Storm off. And now Sake coming off the ropes. Amazing maneuver by the beautiful Akima Sake. Springing off the ropes, drop kick onto the European champion, timeless Toni Storm. Sake now delivering the knee into the face of the champion. I believe it was a few weeks ago where Akima Sake actually competed in a qualifying match for that Fatal 4-Way and lost. You can almost say this could be a moment of redemption as she goes for the pin. We could have a new champion, but no, Toni Storm kicks out. The challenger not giving up though. Like I said, this could be a moment of redemption. She comes for a frog splash, another pin. Could we have another championship change hands here tonight? And again, Toni Storm kicks out. Toni Storm now trying to gain distance between her and the challenger. Akima Sake with a reversal, taking down the European champion. There she comes. Swanton on to Toni Storm. Amazing leg drop onto the ring apron there. And Toni Storm looked like she could be in a lot of trouble. Akima Sake now taking the advantage in this European Championship match. And there's a drop kick to the back of Toni Storm. She's now sizing her up. Akima Sake looking to finish this off. She has her in a fireman's carry position. There's a snake eyes into the turnbuckle. Toni Storm stuck in the corner. Akima Sake. Oh, and what? A reversal. Toni Storm fighting her way out and a massive headbutt to the challenger. The crowd is going wild. All Cleveland, Ohio is off their feet for this women's European title match. Akima Sake coming off the ropes. And she rolls out of the way, avoiding the big boot from Toni Storm. That's Akima Sake's advantage. Her knowledge in martial arts, her high flying ability, her agility could be what wins her this match. And she gets her finisher move. There comes the pin for the title. 1, 2, 3, and Akima Sake does it. In what was an impromptu open challenge, Akima Sake wins the European title.
New Women's European Champion, beautiful.
Amazing. What an incredible night. Here on Dystopia, we just had 2 title changes. One of them was not even on the card tonight. What an amazing turn of events as Akima Sake just defeated Toni Storm for the European Championship. This has been a very exciting night thus far. Congratulations to Akima Sake. When we return, we're going to be hearing from none other than Jon Moxley. And then we're going to have a one-on-one match between Asuka and Rachel Rodriguez. That's all coming up next on Dystopia. I failed this industry. I have. I've chased, battled, and clawed my way through war, and for what? Over 3 months. 3 months in a hospital, bed, recovering, thinking every day, every night about the plan. thinking of how I was going to extract my revenge on Hercules and take away the thing he loved the most. And then I won. But then what? You see, the World Heavyweight belt is just that, a belt, a prop, a physical manifestation of what truly matters. The title. I wanted to use the title to elevate this industry, to weed out the weak, so only the strong, the hungry, the ones willing to go the distance through their own blood, sweat, and tears. I wanted the man to strip me of my title, to be the one to carry the torch, to be stronger than me, so only the strongest would take it from him. This is what the business is about, the grind and struggle. To do what it takes to be on top of the mountain. A title has no place with a man that only seeks validation through retirement. The title has no place in the hands of a man that will not elevate the competition and make GTW what it can truly be. Steve Austin, you paid your dues a long time ago, and I respect the bar you have set in this sport. But you retired a long time ago. For someone like Austin, the belt does not represent a title. It is a trinket, a trophy that he can be proud of, knowing he will never, ever, ever once have to defend it. I lost to this man. No excuses. That night I lost and I was weak. I lost the belt, but what matters is GTW lost a title. That one is on me. That is my failure. But understand this. I'm not done. Austin, I know you're watching this. You can retire with a title, but you cannot call yourself champion by winning once and running away. That title deserves to be defended. If you truly wish to leave this business better than how you found it, you will meet me at WrestleNova. You will defend that title one last time. Then, and only then, will I acknowledge you as a retired champion. The choice is yours, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Face me. Maybe retire as the true champion, or maybe I'll win it back, that trinket of yours. Or stay in your sanctuary and retire as a coward. I think deep down, we both know who you are inside. Do not disappoint me. We just heard from former World Heavyweight Champion Jon Moxley, giving a very clear and detailed message to the retired World Heavyweight Champion Stone Cold Steve Austin, and a challenge has been set for our biggest show ever, the grandest stage in GTW, WrestleNova. The question is, will the Texas Rattlesnake meet Jon Moxley in the ring one last time? Will he postpone his retirement for one last match? Or will the GTW World Heavyweight title be lost to our promotion forever? These are questions that will be answered later. But what I do know right now is we're about to have a one-on-one match. Rachel Rodriguez, who just recently at the Grand Rumble lost the Women's World Championship to Amanda Price, is about to get a moment of redemption. She's about to go one-on-one with Asuka to end her rivalry with her once and for all. Asuka versus Rachel Rodriguez right here on Dystopia.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making her way to the ring, representing Damage Control from Osaka, Japan, Asuka!
And here comes the leader of Damage Control and one half of the Kabuki Warriors, Asuka, making her way to the ring. This is a rivalry that has been brewing for a couple of months now, as Asuka, originally with the intent of wanting to win the Grand Tour Championship from Rachel Rodriguez, has been a thorn in her side, making many enemies in the road she's paved in blood. Rachel Rodriguez may have lost the women's title to Amanda Price at the Grand Rumble, but doesn't mean she's done with her business. She's ready to take on Asuka here tonight. It is also noted that Asuka will be Amanda Price's next opponent on Brawl, completely laying out the women's champion. Rachel Rodriguez likes to think to herself as a friend of Amanda Price and is gonna try and get retribution.
California, Rachel Rodriguez.
And here comes the former women's champion. And I have to say, when she took on Amanda Price at the Grand Rumble, that was one of the greatest matches I have ever seen in the women's division. Both competitors put on a spectacular performance. And even though she's lost, you can't help but have a lot of respect for this woman. When we get to Friday Night All-Star in just a few weeks, Amanda Price will be defending the women's title against Asuka, but tonight it's going to be Rachel Rodriguez's turn to take on this monster. And here comes the bell. Asuka starting off with those infamous kicks. Rodriguez attempting to dodge, but Asuka catching her with the final kick, and there she goes, spiking the knee into the ring mat. And so far, Asuka gained the advantage. Remember, this is going to be Amanda Price's opponent, challenging her for the Women's Championship at Friday Night All-Star. Rachel Rodriguez, the former Women's Champion, and when she faced Amanda Price at Grand Rumble, the two women were equally matched. If Asuka can pull a victory here tonight, she'll be sending a clear message to our Women's Champion. It was on Brawl where Asuka assaulted Amanda Price in what was supposed to be a victory speech to the fans of GTW, ended up being an all-out ambush as Asuka completely assaulted her, beating her with a steel chair and then breaking a kendo stick right over her back. It was only because security interfered that Amanda Price was able to walk away from that. And now we have Asuka outside the ring, slowly tearing apart Rachel Rodriguez. Asuka throwing Rodriguez back in the ring. Tonight has been a night of many surprises. The tag team titles have changed hands. The European title has changed hands. And if tonight showed me anything, there are no limited possibilities. Rachel Rodriguez now gaining the advantage on Asuka. And here she is, using that leverage, stretching the body, and Asuka with an amazing counter, that amazing nimbleness that she's known for. And here goes the leader of Damage Control, laying a submission hold. Rodriguez, with a kick to the face, escapes the hold. And here comes Asuka, walking the ropes, and there's a drop kick, taking Rodriguez down. Just look at Asuka with those stomps, holding those arms for ultimate leverage. And here she is, sizing her up. She goes for a spinning heel kick. Rodriguez dodges. She throws her off the ropes. She goes under. And a spine buster by Rachel Rodriguez. And here she goes, sizing Asuka up. And a neck breaker. Flying neck breaker by Rodriguez, going for the pin. 1, 2, but Asuka kicks out. And there's a dropkick to the back of Asuka. And here comes the armbar. Asuka with the elbow smash. And she rolls it to the pin. She's holding the ropes as leverage. A dirty tactic by Asuka. Referee didn't see it coming. Rodriguez kicked out, and now Asuka applying a submission hold. And look at this power by our former women's champion, Rachel Rodriguez, fighting her way out, slamming Asuka into the ring canvas. Here comes the Irish whip. Asuka off the ropes, and a lariat elbow by Rachel Rodriguez. And now it's Rodriguez's turn, applying an armbar. Asuka with a swift counter, and here comes a Hurricanrana. And look at that. Rodriguez going for an open hand slap across Asuka. Talk about the disrespect. Asuka again with a counter. So thus far, Asuka has been taking complete control in this match. Rodriguez finally able to gain an upper footing in this match. He's sizing her up. Another open hand slap. And there she is with a judo flip. And here goes a headlock. She's got that submission in tight. The referee checking for a tap out. There's a kick to the midsection. Rodriguez now going for a spike suplex. She's going for the pin. Rodriguez starting to look desperate. 1, 2, and Asuka gets the shoulder up. And again, the desperation of Rodriguez is written all over her face right now. She goes to a grapple. Asuka going against the ropes. A forward slam. Again, Rodriguez with that submission hold. Another headlock. Desperately trying to get Asuka to tap out, but it's a no-go. She's now trying an armbar, weakening those joints. And here comes the pin. 1, 2, another kick out from Asuka. And you can see it on Rodriguez's face. Her mind racing, wondering what it's going to take to keep Asuka down. She's going for a high-flying move, but nobody home. Asuka once again with the advantage as she goes for the Irish whip. Rodriguez off the ropes. And a spinning heel kick by Asuka. Asuka on those ropes. Forearm takedown. She's sizing Rodriguez up. Rodriguez barely getting to her feet. This could be it. Asuka could be going for the win here. And look at that ruthlessness. Asuka with a fisherman. Oh no, no. It ended up being a takedown. Hooking the leg for extra leverage. I thought she was going to go for a fisherman suplex. Asuka acting a bit unorthodox here. And a counter by Rodriguez. And here she goes, making her way to the top rope. Asuka sidestepping out of the way. Here comes a kick from Rodriguez. She's still in this thing, not willing to say die. Here comes a reverse suplex. And there's a kick to the face by Asuka. Once again, walking those ropes, drop kick. Now Asuka playing the submission, joint manipulation on the Rodriguez. And Rodriguez with an elbow, desperately fighting her way out of the submission hold. And here comes a German suplex. Asuka now rolling out of the ring, making distance. Rodriguez not getting her into. She does a high flying move from the top rope outside the ring, 10 feet in the air with an elbow drop. That was incredible. That happened right in front of me here at the announcer's desk. Rodriguez is absolutely crazy. It just shows you the length that Rodriguez will go to end Asuka's reign of terror. And here comes the pin. 1, 2, 3. Rodriguez with the victory. And uh-oh. Here comes Damage Control. Kairi Sane and Dakota Kai coming out, beating on Rodriguez. A victory short-lived as Damage Control completely annihilates the former women's champion. Rodriguez may have won the match, but Asuka has just sent a very clear message to Rachel Rodriguez. And this is what happens when you mess with Damage Control. Welcome back everyone to Dystopia, and it looks like we're about to be graced by the presence of none other than the girl from Salem, the Witch. Now, if memory serves, I believe Charles Elliott told the Witch to take the night off, and it looks like she's 100% defying those orders as she's coming out to the ring right now. Earlier tonight, the Witch desperately asking Charles Elliott for a one-on-one match against her brother, Dio Sebastian, and Charles Elliott seems to refuse. Now, I don't know if this is because he wants to protect the main event of WrestleNova between him and Benjamin Bourne, or if he's trying to protect the Witch. Either way, he refuses to sanction that match, going as far as telling the Witch to take the rest of the night off, just as he did on Brawl when she was asking about Steven Dynamite's condition. Obviously, he doesn't think she is cleared to wrestle mentally. Dio, I know you're not here tonight, but I need to get this out of my system. I cannot forgive you. I cannot forgive you for what you did to our friend. Steven Dynamite has always had our back. All you had to do was one thing: apologizing for attacking him. He would have forgiven you. We all would have. You seem to think we're all against you. The fact is, you're my big brother and I love you, but right now I'm disgusted by you. That ambulance match should have never happened. It should have never escalated to that point, and I'm sorry, but I cannot move on knowing what my own brother did to someone I cared deeply for. I cannot ignore this. Charles Elliott will not sanction the match, so I am challenging you directly, Dio. I want to face you one-on-one. It is the only way I will ever let us move on. Whoa, 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 hold on, hold the phone. Hold on, sister. You do understand you lost the Rumble, right? Ben, I respect you for throwing me over that top rope, but this is a personal matter, so I need you to just back off, okay? Alright, hold on, let us get something straight. I did throw you over the top rope. You were the wrestler I had to eliminate to win the Rumble, and when I did. I respect that you have some personal drama going on with your brother, but honestly, that's none of my concern. My concern is A, the Grand Tour Championship, and B, winning it, and C, doing it at the main event of WrestleNova. And I'm not about to let some Dark Arts Salem fangirl get in the way of the most important match of my life. Maybe just maybe, you should take your director's advice. March your way out of here, go back to Salem, drink your herbal teas, make your voodoo dolls, or whatever it is you witches do up there, I don't know, and actually seek counseling with your brother like a responsible adult. Okay, you threw me over the top rope. Don't step in this ring and act like you can actually beat me in a match, Born. One-on-one, I would destroy you. Wait, you're serious? Destroy me? Listen, I made an exception at the Rumble because it was a mixed gender, but I'm not about to put my hands on a woman. There's a reason why only one woman ever held the Grand Tour title, and that was because a man was poisoned before his match. So how about you step on out of here, and is Bad Boy Born scared of a girl? Now hold on, sister, I'm not scared of anyone. Then put your money where your mouth is. If you think I'm so weak because I'm a girl, then how about we face each other at Friday Night All-Star? The winner gets the title match at WrestleNova. Are you serious right now? First of all, A, I would destroy you. B, I'm not fighting a girl. And again, C, you just want me to go out there and put my opportunity on the line? I mean, why would I do that? Well, I mean, unless you're scared. Okay, say I entertain this. What's in it for me? What can you offer me to make me risk the most important match of my career? Well, come on, I'm waiting. What do you got? That is exactly what I thought. My advice, go home, go see your friend, talk to your brother, and most of all, stay out of my way. Well, that was an intense exchange. You could see the witch is getting desperate, so much as calling out Benjamin Bourne. I'm not sure really whose side I am on this. On one hand, Bourne does have a point. Why should he have to risk his opportunity? What is in it for him? However, if it's about putting his hands on women, I gotta say, the witch has proven time and time again she can hold herself in the ring against the boys. But once again, what's in it for Benjamin Bourne if he accepts this challenge? Clearly, the witch is showing the same kind of desperation and obsession that her older brother has displayed in the last couple of months. But now that we're done with that little TV drama moment, it's time for our main event. We got Shinsuke Nakamura versus the Old Gods coming up right now for our main event of Dystopia.
The following is a tag team match set for one fall. Introducing first, from Kyoto, Japan, weighing in at 220 pounds, Shinsuke Nakamura.
And we're listening to the crowd here in Cleveland, Ohio, sing their heart's desire as Shinsuke Nakamura makes his way to the ring for tonight's main event. He will be teaming up with none other than the Ayatollah of Rock and Rolla, Chris Jericho, as they take on the mighty Hercules and the hardcore champion Archangel in tag team action here tonight on Dystopia. What an amazing night we've had so far. As a recap, the women's tag team titles have changed hands, and with an impromptu European title match, Toni Storm has lost the championship to Akima Sake. He calls himself Damian Maximus now, is now the number one contender for the men's European title. And we just had a nice little exchange between Benjamin Bourne and the Witch, and we're all wondering what's going to happen. Will he accept that challenge at Friday Night All-Star?
And his partner from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, weighing in at 227 pounds, Chris Jericho.
And here he is, the learning tree, the Ayatollah of rock and roller, Chris Jericho. And it seems tonight the old gods have just made the list as he makes his way to the ring. On Brawl, he was in a number one contender match, 101 against Shinsuke Nakamura. After losing to Nakamura, Hercules came in the ring, holding true to his promise to Charles Elliott that he would take out another employee of GTW, attempting to hospitalize Chris Jericho. Luckily, Nakamura, not too far behind, came back to the ring, saving Jericho from the ambush. And now tonight, Charles Elliott making this official himself. Jericho and Nakamura will be working together to take on a common foe.
Representing the Old Gods from Boise, Idaho, weighing in at 266 pounds, the Hardcore Champion, Archangel.
Archangel now making his way to the ring, the GTW Hardcore Champion. He won the belt at New Year's All-Star and has only had one title defense thus far. There's a lot of speculation on social media calling Archangel a coward, that he refuses to defend the title in a match type that requires him to be in no disqualification scenarios.
And representing the Old Gods from Athens, Greece, weighing in at 341 pounds, the mighty, unbreakable, indestructible Hercules!
Hercules making his own personal entrance here tonight, bringing the Old Gods to the ring with them. And I'm not liking Nakamura and Jericho's chances, as all 5 members of the Old Gods are present in this match. Damian Maximus, Rebecca Troy, and Amber Charlotte all accompanying Hercules to ringside in tonight's main event. And this does not bode well. This definitely gives the Old Gods a major advantage, having 3 people in his corner. But as we learned earlier tonight, when Damian Maximus took on Axiom in a one-on-one match that #1 contender match, the Old Gods do not play fair. They realize there's power in numbers, and now Hercules is going to exercise that, as he has all 5 standing with him tonight. Hercules said every night he does not get a World Heavyweight title match, he will put another victim in the hospital. Could it be Jericho or Nakamura tonight? Will Hercules make good that promise? This is a sanctioned match. Hercules has no accountability in his contract. Charles Elliott, almost out of desperation, sending Jericho and Nakamura to slaughter. And we have a comment from Dancing Red Sox in our live chat section saying, that's not going to end well. Too many not gods. Nakamura starting things off against the hardcore champion Archangel, and I have to agree with you, Dancing Red Sox. These are the false gods. They fancy themselves above all the rest. They call themselves deities. Nakamura and Jericho looking tonight to prove that wrong. The crowd calling them the false gods, as you will. Nakamura already with the advantage on Archangel, and there's Archangel with a knee buster onto Nakamura. And there's an elbow drop by Archangel, coming over the ropes with a swanton. He now makes the tag to the 345-pound massive warrior, the mighty Hercules, as he lays in those heavy punches onto Nakamura. This guy is built like a brick. I don't think there's a single ounce of fat on him. Every single punch is like being hit by a train by this man. And there's the Old Gods outside distracting Nakamura, giving Hercules the opportunity he needs to get the upper hand. And what a snap suplex by Hercules. Nakamura in a lot of trouble, being knocked out by that knee. He goes for the pin. Nakamura kicking out immediately, still early on in this tag team match. And now here comes Hercules, coming in for a massive powerbomb, and the entire arena here in Cleveland, Ohio just shook after that one. Hercules going for a second, and there's an earthquake going on here in this arena. Nakamura rolling out of the ring, Hercules in pursuit, now fighting ringside, and there's a flying clothesline by this massive man. Nakamura going for a knee strike. And Nakamura now proving it's not how hard you hit, it's where you hit. And there's a forward Russian leg sweep by Shinsuke Nakamura. Now gaining advantage as they're fighting ringside here in tonight's main event. There's a kick to the sternum. Nakamura now gaining the advantage over Hercules. And there's a fireman's carry. Nakamura keeping this fight outside the ring, trying to do as much damage to Hercules as possible before rolling him back inside. And here comes some kicks. Open hand chop. And now Nakamura sizing him up. He's got Hercules in place. And he comes running across the ring. Hercules went for a counter. Nakamura with a counter of his own. An amazing maneuver. And here's the Old Gods interfering the referee with their back turned. The Old Gods are jumping Nakamura outside the ring. And the referee arguing with the Old Gods here, completely distracted, as Archangel knocks out Chris Jericho outside the ring. comes the pin. Jericho with the save. And I think Damian Maximus has just been banned from ringside after having a display with the referee there. The referee caught the Old Gods in the act, and now Damian Maximus banned from ringside, but still, the women still... Oh no, I'm wrong. There's Damian Maximus right there. I guess you can't ban the son of the director of GTW. Nakamura getting a much needed tag to Chris Jericho. And that's the issue with the Old Gods. They just don't know what their limitations are. They don't understand the parameters that they're not supposed to be involved in this match. Archangel with a heavy advantage over Jericho, now tagging in Hercules, going for the pin. And look at Hercules, uses his leverage. Jericho immediately kicking out, and I could just hear Jericho yelling out to Hercules, what the hell was that? And Hercules with a powerbomb, deadlifting him, fireman's carry, Samoan drop. And here comes the pin. 1, 2, Jericho with the shoulder up. And it's Hercules just deadlifting Chris Jericho. Tilt-a-whirl slam. And right now, Chris Jericho in a lot of trouble. Just being absolutely destroyed by the former world champion. And now the Old Gods with a dope team maneuver. Hercules holding in place as Archangel goes for a double axe handle onto the arm of Jericho, followed by a leg drop. Sorry, a drop kick, if you will. And now here comes Archangel to the top rope. High flying move. Sizing his opponent up as Jericho struggles to get to his feet. Flying kick by the hardcore champion. And right now the Old Gods dominating this tag team match thanks to the efforts of the Old Gods. Hercules Archangel with a double shoulder tackle. Both these men are extremely huge, extremely strong, and being hit by both of them would knock anyone off their feet. Hercules now going for the pin. 1, 2, Jericho kicks out. And here it comes, Hercules chambering it up. Here comes the Superman punch, and Jericho is down. And Hercules now about to finish him off with a powerbomb. Makes the tag Archangel. Jericho getting that desperate tag to Nakamura. And a Superman punch by Archangel. Nakamura's down. Chris Jericho knocked out at ringside. And here comes a GTS by Archangel. Here comes the pin. 1, and Jericho breaking off the count, saving this match. Archangel now going for the Irish whip. Nakamura off the ropes. Spear by Archangel. Again, going for the pin. 1, 2, 3, and the Old Gods wins tonight's main event.
Here are your winners, the mighty, unbreakable, indestructible Hercules and Archangel.
I would love to congratulate them, but that was not a clean win, not by a long shot. All 5 of them ambushed these two. Nakamura and Jericho did not have a chance. Hercules, once again, keeping to his promise that he would make someone suffer every night. His demand is not given. How long will this continue? Who will be Hercules' next victim when we come live this Wednesday for GTW Brawl? You'll have to find out. To see the live event, Follow me on Twitch at Infinite Fantasy If to see all the live streaming events. And for those of you who catch Wednesday Night Brawl and Saturday Night Dystopia along with GTW Underground on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell to know when new episodes of GTW come near you. I will see you this Wednesday for Brawl. This is Infinite Fantasy signing out, and as always, may your fantasies be infinite.